You know the great thing about front-facing cameras on your mobile devices? You can turn it upside down and have a little check to see if you've got any bats in the cave. Yeah, good tip, right? Huh? Well, if you're more interested in something else, let's chat about the gear that I've got on this table. Now I know that some of you have been filming some great content out there, but you want to take it to the next level, so you might need a few bits and pieces to level your game up. Today we're talking about two things in particular. One is stabilization and the other is audio. Now, other than using the front-facing camera to check if you've got any bats in the caves, the cameras on our mobile phones these days are jam-packed with a whole lot of functionalities.
What?
They come with resolutions that are super high, anywhere from 720, 1080, or right up to 4K. They even have a great range of frame rates per second. So if you wanted to shoot something that's a lot more cinematic or look like a movie, you could stick with something that's 24 frames per second and then go all the way up to 120 frames per second. If you like the slow motion, you would film in 60 frames or right up to 120 frames, put that into some kind of post-editing software or an app and then slow it right down to 24 frames if you wanted to go down that route. The other great aspects about cameras on mobile devices is that you've got at least 2, maybe 3 to choose from, and sometimes now 4 cameras on a mobile phone. So you could be looking at a 16:9 or a macro lens or even a very wide lens. Now going down that route of accessorizing your phone to go even further with your lenses, you could look at something along the lines of moment lenses. Now moment lenses are great because there's a wide range to choose from. If you wanted to go a little more into the macro, into more detail of something that you wanted to film, or if you wanted to go wider or more of an elliptical look, they have a great range of lenses to facilitate your needs. Now I have the anamorphic lens from Moment, and the reason why I chose this lens is I really do like the cinematic look. Things like when filming a light, it will put a flare through the light, just like this one. It even brings down the bars from the top and bottom to give your film more of a stretch look, just like it would if you were watching a movie at the cinemas. Now the way that Moment lenses work is you simply grab the lens, it does have a line on the lens there, and on the case that you need to purchase as well, it'll have a line. And all you need to do is simply line up the 2 lines together and chuck it on and then just give it a turn. Once it's on, you're ready to go. Open up the cap and just start filming your content. So as we cover off all the accessories today, if you're interested in purchasing any of these, I'll put the links in the description below for you to have a look at. Next up is stabilization. And now it starts with just getting a tripod or something that you can fit your camera on. And the tripod that I keep with me most of the time is a JOBY GORELLIAPOD. These are great. The reason why I keep this one in my bag most of the time is for a couple of reasons. One is that you have the ability to flex the legs in different angles. So if you're in a situation where you couldn't get that right angle and you needed to hang this from a very awkward position, you easily could hang this from a fence, or if you're like me and work in the fitness industry, you could potentially hang this off a barbell or a rack or anything along those lines. The other reason why I love the GORELLIAPOD here is it does have a leveler on the back. So if I wanted to change the level or the position of the head, I could easily do that. Now I have a little gadget that I purchased separately from the GORELLIAPOD. It's still part of JOBY. Now the great thing with this one is that you can open up the ends and you can easily fit in a phone. So if you didn't have a GORELLIAPOD and you just wanted to stand your phone up because you didn't have a case, get one of these. They're cheap. I think they're only about like $20. And you can get these on JB Hi-Fi, at Rubber Monkey, and a few various different places like Noel Leeming's. So the easy thing with this one is if I wanted to, I could just slide that on, get it to the other end, and already we're in a standing position. These come with a 1/4" screw, so these can easily be placed onto any tripod, whether it be a large light tripod or even a JOBY GORELLIAPOD like this one here. And by just simply screwing it on and then putting it into the stand position, the great thing with these ones is that you can now then move the head into any position you like, even if you wanted to go into portrait. So this would be a great start if you're looking at just getting something simple enough so that you can house your phone on and film it from anywhere really. Now the next thing I want to talk about are gimbals, and probably my favorite topic to talk about. Now why a gimbal is a must need in your backpack is because that stabilizes your footage when moving around. So if you're on the move and you happen to be filming, and again, going back to my situation of working in the fitness industry and I want to capture a lot of things in movement, I'd be using this so it takes out all the shake as I walk around. So the two that I have with me here, this one here is a MOVI FREEFLY. Now this one here is a lot more expensive than the one below. So both of these gimbals are really similar. The top one here, the only difference is the ergonomics and the way it works. The bottom one here is a lot more compact, so you can break it down into a smaller two-piece component and be able to tuck it in your pocket. The top one is a lot more cumbersome, and this top one here is a lot more expensive. This one's a much cheaper one and easily available here in New Zealand. So both of these gimbals have clamps, and this is how you house your mobile device. So if I were to open up this one here, all I would need to do is open up the clamp, put my phone in the clamp, and then move it around to its right position. Most gimbals need to be balanced, so it's just a matter of just getting it in the right position so where it feels like it's balanced and it's not going to tip over. So gimbals have axes and they've got little motors in them. So if you don't balance it right, these motors will give out over a period of time. So get the balance right and you'll be fine. And when you're ready, you power up your gimbal and the phone will get into a locked position, so then you can move it around. Now I'm going to take this phone and I'm going to power it up on the DJI gimbal because I think it's the one that I would recommend to you all. So if you're purchasing the DJI gimbal, it comes in a combo. And the combo comes with the gimbal itself, the stand, and it even comes with a carry case, which is great. Now the DJI gimbal, it doesn't stand on its own, so you will need a stand. So by purchasing the stand, you can easily just plonk it up there and use it similar to a gorilla tripod, and there are other functionalities with this, which I'm going to show you in a second. Okay, just simply by opening the stand, we can now open up the arm. And then opening up the arm, we get the gimbal ready, so we've got the claw again. And this claw here just expands by pulling these ones out. Grab our phone. We again look to balance the phone to make sure that it's in the perfect position, or the right position, and just move it around just so that you get the right balance. And once it's in a pretty good balance, then we just power it up. And as you can see, she's moved into a locked position. Now the good thing with the DJI gimbal is that it can go from a portrait position or into a landscape position. So now if I wanted to pick this up and start filming a few things, I can easily move my wrist around and it would follow that position. I can go down, I can go up, and it's in a good smooth position. Now if I wanted to run with this, I could do that as well. So let's have a look at some of the footage that I've put together in the past to give you some of the ideas of what smooth looks like. This DJI gimbal, which is called the DJI OSMO Mobile 3, has a lot of different functions on it, and you do need to get the app in order to use the gimbal itself. You will need to download the app before starting up the gimbal. If you don't have the app ready to go, then the gimbal won't wake up. And then after you've activated your gimbal for the very first time, if you wanted to use another phone without the app, that's totally fine as well. One of the key things that I really like about this gimbal is it has face tracking. So if I wanted to give a tutorial, I could simply look at the gimbal, I could put my finger on my face and make a square, and then right there we have tracking. So then if I wanted to move to this way and I wanted to showcase a few things, I could easily do that. And the whole time it's following myself. I go down, I could go up, and just look at different positions, and it's a great tool to use for tutorials. And as you can see, there are a lot of different functions on this app. We've got from pano, photo, video, time-lapse and hyperlapse. You can choose your frame rates to your resolution. There's lots to choose from. I do have a video in the description below that you can click on to give more of a detailed instructions on how to upload the app, how to get your gimbal working, and to show you all the other functions within the app. So if you do end up purchasing the DJI Osmo Mobile 3, click on that video and watch the tutorial so that you know what to do with all these functions. Now the next is audio. Now they say that the quality of your audio is just as important as the quality of your film. So let's talk about a few accessories that you may want to add to your audio kit. Now I have two shotgun mics that I use for my mirrorless camera. Now you can get ones that are smaller for your mobile phones, and they look like this. Other options you could choose, which are cheaper options, are getting lapel mics. Now some lapel mics are quite small and they may not reach you. What I would suggest is getting a BOYA. Booyah, booyakasha, booyah, booyah, booyakasha, booyah. These ones are great because they go up to about 3 meters in length. So if you needed some distance from your phone to yourself, these would go a long way. These ones are also compatible with mirrorless and DSLR cameras, also your smartphones. If you can see there's the switch. That lapel mic has been my go-to mic for quite some time. Now I'm using the wireless mics, and wireless mics are my favorite, and I do have one that's sitting right up here. I'm going to switch over the wireless Rode mic to my shotgun mic, and you can see the difference in quality of sound coming from a distance because I have this one just set up right above me, quite close, and we're going to talk about that in a sec. Let's switch that over now. Now with the audio change with my shotgun mic on the top of my camera, there's a bit more distance away from my mouth, so the quality might be a little bit different. So let's test the audio from a few different variations, starting off with the internal mic from my phone. Testing 1, 2, this is the quality coming from the mic on my phone. Testing 1, 2, this is the quality coming from the mic of my phone. Testing 1, 2, this is the quality of the sound coming from my wireless mic. The Rode Wireless Go mics are my favorite for a couple of reasons. One is because they're wireless, and the second is that they are so small, so I can hide them anywhere. So here you have the receiver, so you could connect this to your DSLR camera or your mirrorless camera, but the great thing is you can also connect this to your mobile phone. Then you have the transmitter. The transmitter is again fantastic because it has its own inbuilt microphone right there, so you don't need anything else other than this here is the transmitter. So I could connect this with the Rode logo here right on my shirt, and I could connect that quite close, and it does hide away quite well if I needed to be on the move and give good quality audio. Not only that is that the bonus for this one here, it does have a lapel mic input. So if I wanted to, and I didn't want this to be shown because it may be a little bit too bulky for your liking, you could hide this in your underclothes and then attach one of these really budget lapel mics, connect that to that, run that up through your clothes and have that to the edge on your clothing. But not only that, these Rode Wireless Go mics also have this little fluffy thing that you chuck on top just in case it's a windy day, like it is down here in Wellington. Now when you purchase your Rode Wireless Go mics, they do come with this cable. Now this cable here, and as you can see, they have two little black lines. This is meant to be for a digital camera or a mirrorless camera. You will need to purchase, if you wanted to use something like this for your smartphones, you will need to purchase this extra cable. And as you can see here, we have a black one and a gray end. So we have a TRRS, so we have the two black lines here, and we also have the TRRS, which is the 3 black lines here. And this one here will connect into your smartphone, so you will need this. So if you happen to purchase one of these Wireless Go mics and you're thinking to yourself, why is it not working? You do need one of these, and it works really well with your smartphones. I've used this in multiple times with my smartphones and it's worked wonders. So if I wanted to move around, say I was doing an exercise tutorial, that I could easily use one of these Rode Wireless Go mics and hide this away, and for it not to fall off or flop around and be too bulky if I wanted to have another wireless mic, which a lot of times they're quite bulky, and if you have them attached to the back, they do tend to fall around, or they do look a bit funny if you've got this extra bulge in the back of your butt. So there we have it, folks. I hope some of these things will help you think about what you may need to put in your backpack in regards to stabilization and audio. Now I have put links in the description below if you're thinking about purchasing any of these items here in New Zealand. Plus I'll put some links that are from Amazon as well if you're thinking about sourcing a few things that are a little bit cheaper. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to keep up to date with a lot of the tutorials I'll be putting out on what gear to get and how to edit your content. Stay groovy, team. See you next time. Peace.